What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about while loops. Now loops in general are used in basically every single programming language and it's very popular among them. A loop is what it sounds like. It basically repeats blocks of code until a certain condition is met. Now how the syntax looks for a while loop in Python is you put while, you put some sort of condition, colon, in your statement. That's the basic syntax. Now I'll just give a quick example of the actual while loop and actually using it. So I'm gonna do this variable number, give us that 0. We're going to do a while loop, so while, and this is my condition here. So while my number is smaller than 10, let's say, I want to print I am looping and let's also print hello. Now if I actually print this, what you're gonna notice is that it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. It's still going on. So basically why this is happening is, we're gonna stop this now. But why this is happening is because we have a variable and it's 0. We're saying while number is less than 10, we're gonna print these two lines of code. Since we already gave number the value of 0, this will always forever stay 0. And since 0 is less than 10, it's basically gonna repeat this over and over again. Because how loops work in coding is that when this condition is met, it executes the code under it, and basically after it executes every single piece of code under the loop, it goes back to the loop to see if this condition is met again. If it's met again, then it repeats and executes the code, and so on. Now obviously we don't want loops to go infinitely, like this one right here. As I'm scrolling up, you can see it just keeps going, doesn't end. So we don't want this, which is called an infinite loop, because, well, it never stops. So that's why we have to usually have some sort of end to a loop. So how you do that is at the end of every loop, you want to say number equals plus 1. Now what this basically does is that if this condition is met for the while loop, it goes to this block of code, and then it gets to here. So basically it takes the original value of number, which was 0 in our case, makes it equal to number plus 1. So number equals 0 plus 1. So now number has a new value, which is 1. And then it'll go back to the top of the loop, and now since number is 1, it checks to see, is 1 less than 10? Yes, so it's going to print the exact same thing, adds another one, so 2, and then same thing, 3, so on. So I just changed to 5 so you can see the full thing. So now if I run this time, you'll see that it only prints it 5 times total compared to this infinite amount. And that's basically how you restrict while loops to make sure they don't infinitely keep going on. Now I'll show you an example where the while loop can actually be useful, and we'll do a multiplication table essentially. So we're going to have it where user inputs some number, and we're going to print the multiplication table up to 10. So if they print 3, we'll do 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10. So our final value should be 30. So obviously first we're going to do a variable number equals an integer, because we want the person or the user to put in an integer. This can be user input, so we can say enter a number. So next this is where we're going to use our while loop. So now we're going to do a variable called count, which is the variable we're going to use in our condition. We're going to use a value of 1. Now we're not doing 0 here because if this person puts in 3, we're planning to use count in the while loop as a condition. The first number we want their user input to be multiplied by is going to be 1, not 0. So now we're going to do a while loop, and we're going to say if count is less than or equal to 10. We're going to say the answer equal to, it will be number times count, and then we're going to print the answer. Obviously at the end we want to add count equals count plus 1. So now what this code will do, user inputs a number, and then count is already 1, so we see it's 1 less than or equal to 10. Yes. So it goes here, new variable answer, it takes whatever number the user put, multiplies it by 1, prints that answer, adds 1 to whatever count was, then it's 2. 2 is less than or equal to 10, so does the same thing, repeats until this count variable, the value finally hits 10, which is its max. Because since 11 is greater than 10, we can't execute this while loop anymore. So if we print this, you'll notice that enter number. So let's do 3. And you'll see that it prints the values, multiplication table up to 10. So now just for format purposes, we don't want to have it print just the numbers. We want to obviously show like 3 times 1 equals 3, 3 times 2 equals 6, 3 times 10 equals 30, and etc. So where we want here, we want to say the number that the user inputted multiplied by our count value equals our answer. So to do this, we would do number and then up comma, which represents the space, and we'll do x for multiplication, comma, and then I'm going to do count, comma, equals, comma, and then product answer. So now if we did this correctly, enter number was 4. Now you can see that this is way more organized, and you can tell exactly what's happening and see that's actually a multiplication table. So this is basically how a while loop works. And there is another type of loop that we will be talking about in a future video, but for this video, we're just going to be talking about while loops. So I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.